Welcome to the Real Retirees of New Jersey, powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. Randy and Peggy Fisher want to help you retire once and retire right. Get more information at therealretireesofnewjersey.com. They never throw the first punch, but they're always a knockout.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. But most importantly, thanks for listening. This is the Real Retirees of New Jersey podcast with Peggy and Randy Fisher. It's all powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. You can get more when you visit therealretireesofnewjersey.com. You can find that and all the information here in the show notes. My name is Mark Owens. Now, let's get to the show. To kick things off, Randy, I just want to say thank you. That little soundbite we played in the opening right there, income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. Buddy, have I stolen that? And I use that all the time, and I straight up take credit for it.
Good for you. I like that.
I stole everything through 30 years of my practice. So.
Yeah, that's true, right?
I'm a pirate of the things that work.
So I don't know if I need to trademark you or whatnot, but I'll say, Match, well, you know that income is the outcome that matters the most.
Listen, I guarantee you it didn't come from me. I probably just heard it someplace and ate it up. So
good. Well, then I appreciate the honesty. Well, hey, speaking of honesty, talk to me. How's that bracket? We talked last week about how much time, effort, and energy we spend putting the brackets together. Where you at?
I haven't thrown it away yet. I'm still keeping faith alive, keeping hope alive, baby. We'll see. I don't know. It's a far shot at it.
Look, who am I kidding? I get busted immediately.
That's because you use emotion. You go to the teams you like instead of the teams you think are going to win.
That is my wife, and I know she's not listening, so I can call her out on this.
Why is she doing your bracket?
Gretchen, she does her own, but she will literally, because she does not follow college basketball, and she will literally say, that head coach is cute. I think he's going to go
that.
far.
Oh, yeah. I like the color.
God,
uniform looks good. The one player's cute. Yes, absolutely.
I don't like that mascot. I want them to get beat early.
Yes. I think that's a great way to pick the outcomes.
Every
it's
time.
Amazing.
Listen, it's probably just as good.
I think it's just as good, right?
1 in 9.2 quintillion chance of a a bracket.
So why not try on the color of the shirts?
I'm out of the
Who's
perfect
cute?
bracket.
Yeah,
so.
right?
908-844-8337, the Real Retirees of New Jersey.com. Hey, speaking of income being the outcome that matters the most in retirement, I want to talk about one of the biggest potential forms of guaranteed income in retirement, and that is with an annuity. I want you to hear this clip from WeCanTell.com's Cheryl Moore. And she says what many people don't understand is that annuities are also a safeguard against longevity risk.
So this is basically taking the fact that I might live too long or too long for my retirement savings, certainly, and I need a way to hedge that risk. That's what an annuity does. But the money person is probably thinking, well, why would I sell the annuity? Because I can sell them a bond and a stock fund that's going to way outperform that. Well, that might be true, but does it have that insurance feature where it guarantees the paycheck for life? No. And really, that's what the client's communicating, right? I need guarantees. I don't want to run out of money. And that's exactly what an annuity is made for.
All right, talk to me about the pros and cons of an annuity and why are they misunderstood?
Well, she's absolutely right, because only an annuity can keep paying income when you live long enough to exhaust your principal. I mean, that's just a fact. That is a fact.
It's a contract, yeah.
And when we talk about things like that, too, I mean, the Americans' number one fear is outliving your money, right?
Yep.
So what we do for people is we provide lifetime income using an annuity, right?
Use the right tool for the job.
Yeah, because insurance companies are the risk managers of the world. They use armies of actuaries, right, to figure out how long you can live and then pay you for life. And I always talk about this because people fear annuities, but let me talk about the biggest corporations that use them. Corporations like Kimberly-Clark, FedEx, Lockheed Martin, which is one of the biggest companies out there. These corporations use this. That too. Yes. They use them to pay the retirees a lifetime income that they can't outlive. That's an annuity,
and we have
folks.
3 million employees.
Yes.
But yeah, think about that. We have 3 million people that are basically almost directly related to employment with the U.S. government. Now that includes military, right? Everybody else, post office services, everybody. They get what? A pension.
Right.
What is the pension?
Yeah.
And if you ask somebody who is a government employee, they'll never tell you that they have a pension. You know what they tell you they have?
What?
An annuity.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what they do have. An annuity.
Because corporations use annuities to fund employees' retirements. The biggest ones that I just named, FedEx, Kimberly-Clark, Molson Coors Beverage Company. That's what they're giving their employees.
Annuity comes from the word annua,
Yeah. So if we're going all the way back, Mark, I was telling you that I have my little timeline of how annuity started. And as Randy just stated,
I grab a snack.
so no, in 27 BC, okay, if I brought you back in time, the Roman Empire used annual stipends.
Randy was 7 years old.
Yeah. Roman citizens made a one-time payment to the annua in exchange for a lifetime income. That's going back to 27 BC. Let me bring you a little bit forward, okay, guys? In 1759, the first used ever in America, a Pennsylvania company formed to allow ministers to contribute to their funds in exchange for what? A lifetime payment.
Ben Franklin left 2 annuities to the state of Pennsylvania.
Yes. Yes,
Did you
he
know
did.
that?
Yeah.
Did not.
I did.
He left that in as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. How about, let's just even go forward. 1998, the National Football League. Okay, guys, football out there, right? The NFL began
Because they're morons.
offering retired players monthly income through annuities. Over $5 billion have been paid out.
That's because they burn it on beer, chicken wings, and women.
The year 2000, lotteries are just, and we're very big with the New Jersey lottery here, right? Everybody loves their scratch offs and loves their lotteries. But lotteries use annuities to provide what? Income for up to 30 years to who? Their winners. That's what they're getting. Let's even go for a little bit more forward. In 2021, tax deferred growth. In 2021, 254.8 billion was invested into annuities. Now, folks, if you think that annuities are scary and things like that,
close to what it is now.
I don't think that 254.8 billion would be using annuities, right?
I agree.
Yeah,
Totally
exactly.
agree.
It's a Main Street financial product, period, the end. It used to be on the back burner where no one knew what they were about. Today, it is literally just, it's a staple in people's portfolios.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, let me
Because
ask
what do
you
we
this.
always say? Income is the outcome that matters the most, correct? So you need that income.
Sure.
You want somebody who's going to pay you a nice little monthly payment, right? That you can't outlive. That's what an annuity is. It's an amazing product.
Some people say that annuities aren't worth the paper they're written on. Some people, base their entire practice on an annuity. Peggy, what say you? Where do you fall down that line of thinking?
Well, I mean, I fall down the line of thinking of annuity is just one of the tools that we use for the job here. It's not for everybody, 100%. It's, for certain people who, want to use them and can use them for what they need as far as how much money do they have, okay? And like we said, I mean, another big thing is people are living so much longer, and wouldn't you like a paycheck that you will not have to worry about for the rest of your life that you can't outlive? I mean, that's a major thing right now, especially like people are just living much, much longer. So then again, we talk about the emotion. You think in your head, oh my God, did I save enough money? Because I'm certainly living much longer than what people were back in the day, right?
You know what the best phone calls we got over the past couple of weeks were?
What's that?
It was from the people who were panicking.
Yes.
Over the market, going ballistic.
Oh, yes.
And they would call up and say, I just want to make sure that the money that's in my annuity, that I didn't lose anything.
Yeah, we just got a text, didn't we, Randy? Yeah, from one of our favorite client. That he literally just said, okay, I'm in annuities, right? I'm not in the market.
I'm not in the market.
No, you're good.
You're good.
Exactly.
So how do you respond? And you tell them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your money is 100% insulated from the volatility of the market if you are in a specific type of an annuity.
Right.
So if you're in a variable annuity, all bets are off. They're in an investment, right? So you're up and down with the market. But if you're in an income annuity, a fixed annuity, or a fixed indexed annuity, then you have absolutely no shot at losing money depending on what the market's doing. It doesn't matter if it's going up. It doesn't matter if it's going down. It doesn't matter if it's going sideways. It makes no difference.
Right.
You can't lose any money. For the most part, if you really want to just have, why don't people grasp annuities more often than not? It's because of the unknown.
Right,
And
definitely.
it's
The fear
because
of the unknown, I would
It is
say.
the fear of the unknown.
Yes.
But it's also the fear of what they've actually heard before. It's the boogeyman, right? It's the stories in which they were heard. I heard my friends, mothers, brothers, sisters, aunts, lost, da-da-da-da-da. Or there's 8 million people that are out there to tell us that they're full of fees and costs and charges like Fisher Investments that's out there, right?
Right.
Well, guess what? That's not true. So when you actually think about it, you have to use the right tool for the job.
Right.
And you have to have the right information to make a great decision. So most annuities, number one, you can't lose anything in them. Number two, they have no fees, costs, or charges. So that's right off the board. Take everybody's premonitions about what an annuity is about, throw it out the window.
Right.
Okay.
Because it's BS. It doesn't make sense because it's all hearsay. Use real information to base a decision upon and go from there. So it is literally, if you want to, but just mark this down on your calendar as to what it is. It is a glorified certificate of deposit.
Right.
That's what a fixed annuity is. You normally get a little bit more interest from an insurance company than a bank because the bank doesn't hold on to your money as long as the insurance company particularly. Unfortunately, if you invested in a CD, you have no liquidity.
That's right.
Right? So if I invested in a 3-year CD, a 5-year CD, 7-year CD, and I was getting a whatever rate of return, I can't take anything out of that CD or I break it.
That's right.
If I break it, I get a 3-month interest penalty and I get my money back. And whatever the rate of return was, I don't get it anymore. Mm-hmm. If I want to access money in an annuity, I also have access to the funds.
Yeah,
right?
which generally in most annuities is 10% free access
each year.
That's correct.
So if I put in $100,000, I can access $10,000 after the first year. Do I need to? No. But if I wanted to, I can.
Right.
Some even have cumulative withdrawal features, meaning if I don't touch anything the first year, I can use it the second year, the third year, it accumulates on. So at the end of the third year, I potentially can have a 30% cumulative withdrawal all at one time.
Yeah. And then you talk about fixed annuities versus CDs, right? You have a guaranteed income stream. You don't get that with a CD.
No.
Right?
It's impossible.
Also, he talks about tax deferred growth.
We haven't talked about that, but that's a good one.
So another thing, it's tax deferred growth in an annuity. Mm-hmm. You can keep that money without paying taxes on it. You can't do that in a CD. You can't do that in other avenues, right?
So it's a financial tool that legally the IRS has in its code that tax deferral takes effect, meaning I put money into an annuity this year and it grew by $10,000. I don't even get a 1099 on that money because it's not a withdrawal. There's nothing affecting the taxation, which means it can continue to grow, compounding on top of each other over and over and over. Einstein said that was, one of the 8 wonders of the world is compound interest, right? So what that does is it's kind of like a snowball. Every revolution that goes around, it gets larger and larger and larger, that you're actually building a snowman from a snowball.
Right.
Same thing happens with money. If you can defer it over a longer period of time, number one, you lower your immediate taxation. So it's actually affecting your taxes immediately.
Right.
And then later on, you actually can control when you are going to be taxed on it. It does come out as ordinary income. So later on in life, if you want to make a withdrawal, it's going to come out last in, first out. Last thing that went in there was interest. The first thing that's going to come out is the interest. So it's taxable until you get to your principal. Or you can turn it into income. If you do, there's something called an exclusion principle. What it means is some of the payment in which you receive will be excluded from income tax and some will be a portion which is included in income tax. So it does have a tax efficient method of returning your money to you and creating an income stream. And as Peggy mentioned umpteenth times, you cannot outlive an annuity. If you can fog a mirror, you're going to continue to get your payment.
And people are living much longer these days. This is why this product is a beautiful thing. And then even for our clients who are near retirement, who own stocks or mutual funds, the market corrections can have a severe impact on the retirement security. But something like an index annuity allows you to offer our clients, upside potential where they think, they do have a piece in the market, right? With downside protection. Index credits will never be less than zero. So folks out there, you do have a piece of your money in the market, right? With zero, that is, if you can hear me again, zero, you cannot lose anything. So if the market, however the market may act or react, on your anniversary date, we will have a review with you and talk about what did you make or what didn't you make. But the bottom line is, let's say the market was crazy and you didn't make anything. You can't lose $1, which is another beautiful thing. As if you were in the market, you could definitely lose, right?
Let me try to translate that.
Yes.
So if I started in the year is January 1st, next January 1st, we're going to figure out if you made money or not.
Correct.
So if your money was attached to the
indices, right?
Or the indices. Mm-hmm. Let's just take the Standard & Poor's 500 just for the hell of it. So if the Standard & Poor's 500 was up 10%, they have something called, and there's many different ways that interest can be credited, but let's just make a simple one. Let's just call it a cap. A cap is the maximum interest in which they will give you. So let's say it was 8%. If the market was up 10, you're not going to get what the market is because you're not investing in the market. It's not an investment.
That's correct.
The market is a barometer. And what it's doing is it's saying to the insurance company, how much interest do I have to give this person this year based on what the market did? So if the market was up 10% and the maximum that they would give me was the cap of 8, I would get an 8% interest rate even when the market was up 10%. If it was up 6%, I would have gotten a 6% rate of return. Here's the glory of this type of annuity. If the market is negative, anything, -1 to -100, it makes no difference. There is no growth potential there. So there was nothing that was positive. You don't get any interest. You also don't get any loss.
Right.
Because there was nothing to give you. So you never participate in the losses, because what it is how much interest are you going to receive based off the positive result? If there's no positive result, you didn't make anything, but you didn't lose anything.
Right. And for our conservative clients, this could be very important to them, right?
People
Absolutely.
love this
Yes.
if they are a conservative investor, because what that does is it allows them to be a conservative investor by not even being involved in the market.
Right. As we just said, we just had a client who just texted us and said, I have an annuity, right? And nothing's going to happen. I'm not in the market, right? And this is the type of client that is very happy, a conservative client who knows that they're not losing anything in chaos out in the world there.
And couple that with no fees, costs, or charges.
Exactly.
Correct? So
that's another myth. Right? With people say, we'll have clients that'll sell across from us, right? I don't want an annuity. And I always, and Randy, he cringes in his seat, but I always ask the question. I'm like, please tell me why you don't want the annuity. And it always goes right to, oh my God, you have to be in it for life. No, that's not true. You don't have to be in it for life. Oh, there's so many fees with this. No,
Nope,
that's also not true. We have annuities that don't have any fees, costs, or charges. So like if we just hit the bullet points right away, it's just amazing to me how disinformed people are about an annuity.
It's their premonition of what they heard versus what they know.
Right, exactly.
Right? And it's a big deal. It's really a big deal. Now think about this. What you keep is what you earn, or what you earn is what you keep. We can do it. You could say it both ways. If you're in a brokerage account, an investment, whatever it may be, there's fees, costs, charges. There's lots of different things that are in there, right? And listen, if you're getting something for it, a fee in the absence of value is a fee.
That's right.
If you're paying a fee, but you're getting something from it, or it's making a difference, then it's actually worth paying it, right? In an indexed annuity or a fixed annuity or an income annuity, whatever return you receive, that's what you get.
Right.
There's no other decline, deduction, expense, cost, blah, 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 blah. Now, let me just give you a little full disclosure. If you purchase a rider or there's other benefits in which you want bells and whistles to,
there can be
some fees.
Absolutely.
If you just want the base contract, and the base contract does a really good job, what you earn is what you got. So in the event of the negative market condition, you walk away with exactly the same dollar you started with. No less, no charge, no fee, no cost. If the market made money, you're going to get interest to some degree of the participation of that percentage. So if the market went up 10 and they only give you 8 or 7, that's the money they give you. Once they give it to you, it can never be taken away.
Well, like we say, as long as you can fog a mirror, you're going to get a payment.
All right, let me ask.
That's a true statement.
Yeah, you're going to get a payment.
908-844-8337. We invite you to call right now. We have a representative standing by. Just a couple of quick pieces of information. You're not going to be on the phone long. A name, an email address, a phone number, and more importantly, when is better for your schedule to have a long-form conversation with Peggy and Randy about the power of an annuity. Again, that number, 908-844-8337 to reach out to the team at Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. Okay, as we talk about the annuities, it will last as long as you do. In the event of my death, what happens to it then? Do I get to pass it down to my heirs? Or what if I don't like my kids and I wanted to go ahead and shut it down? How does that work?
We keep it.
Yeah, that is not true, Randy. To anyone listening out there, that is 100% not true.
Does it? No.
No.
What are you getting into this business for?
Yeah, my God. So, if you do have a beneficiary, which most people do, when they have an annuity, they put a beneficiary on there, it goes to the beneficiary. That's exactly correct.
It also avoids probate.
Correct.
So one of the biggest things is when people pass away, they don't really want their information public.
Right.
Now, some stuff is public. So, for instance, your home, certain bank accounts, personal properties, things like that will be public knowledge.
Correct.
That's why people put those items into a trust, because they don't want it to be public knowledge.
Right.
For their personal information, public knowledge. They also do it for liability reasons. They want to make sure that if they're sued or whatever it may be, that it can be insulated from certain things. For instance, do you remember somebody named O.J. Simpson?
Yes,
Heard
I
the
do
name,
remember
yeah.
him very much.
O.J.
So.
Simpson got away with murder.
I remember a car
That's what I
chase.
heard. That's what I hear. And he had almost every nickel that he owned in annuities, and they were paying him a lifetime income stream.
Right.
With survivor rights to his kids. Nobody, anytime they sued him, could never go after that money.
They couldn't touch that money.
They couldn't touch the money.
Nope.
Because an annuity is considered a type of trust. So the fact of the matter is it has a listed beneficiary arrangement, whether it is a non-IRA or an IRA account. And upon passing away, forms are obviously needed to be filled out with a copy of a death certificate, and the money is distributed directly to
your
the beneficiaries.
Right, directly. Yes.
It doesn't go to your will. It
Right.
doesn't go to a trust. It doesn't go to a lawyer. It doesn't go to an estate account. It goes directly to the named beneficiary. Now, if the beneficiary is a trust, then it goes to the trust.
Right.
If the name of the beneficiary is the estate, it goes to the estate. But if you list your beneficiary on the annuity, that is the person who will get it.
And nobody can go after that.
That analogy just means these things are ironclad.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They are 100%.
You can't get around these things.
Yes, absolutely.
It is.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisor services offered through Artemis Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Artemis Wealth Advisors is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Randolph A. Fisher, insurance license number 9616074, and Liberty Financial Group, LLC, and Peggy Fisher, national license number 189-42003 and 570-5833.